Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Precious Amayo. Today, our major focus is on the U.S., where the President, Donald Trump, declared a turnaround for the ages in his record 108-minute State of the Union address, seeking to revive weak poll numbers ahead of November's midterm elections. Speaking to a joint session of Congress, President Trump received repeated standing ovations from Republicans, while many Democrats remained seated in protest and some heckled. He opened with an optimistic tone, declaring America bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before, after what he called an unprecedented national transformation in just 1 year back in office. On foreign policy, he warned that Iran was pursuing missiles capable of reaching the United States. He also stressed that Tehran would never be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons, but he would prefer diplomatic resolutions. At home, President Trump pushed for stricter voter ID laws, repeating claims of widespread election fraud. He accused Democrats of destroying the country and intensified rhetoric on immigration midway through the speech. Now, for more on this development, political analyst Somto Ike Ejiofor and US-based lawyer Banwo joins me from the United States of America. Good to have both of you join us.
Good to see you, Precious. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All right, I understand we do not have Dr. Banwo yet. When he joins,
Okay.
we'll speak to him. All right, Somto, let me start with you. A speech not void of the usual Trump. I can hear you laughing. A speech not void of the usual Trump showmanship. You can expect that from him. He beat his own record to give the longest spoken speech of the Union address in recent history. And 1 hour 48 minutes. That's a lot. But let me start by getting your thought on this speech generally before we go into specifics.
My thoughts were it was disgusting. It was full of lies. But then again, this is the political aspect of life. This is my daily life, so I had to watch it for the general public. It was just a lot of exaggerations. I did not see the need for that. There was no substantial policy that came out of the speech. There was declarations upon declarations upon declarations. And like you mentioned, the usual showmanship. I clapped 100 times more for the people that came outside than the actual president and any policy he mentioned. And even I had to reflect yesterday upon all the responses that it was just not it for me. The last year, there have been several Nigerians, over 11,000 Nigerians unemployed, over 2,000 Nigerians deported. So no, I do not see any turnaround that Donald Trump has mentioned. I do not see the greatness that he has aspired us to be. I felt like I was much better under the last administration. My spending power was better. My ability to travel was better. Heck, I was able to do a lot of things outside this administration. So no, the difference has not changed. It's still the same. We're still pillaged and still having to wonder about the exaggerations. It's just the exaggerations were too much for me. I was just annoyed by it.
All right, I understand we have Dr. Banwo now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. My apology. My phone went off. Sorry.
It's fine. I was just speaking to Somto to get her general overview of President Trump's speech, and I also want to get your speech as well, your thoughts on that speech as well.
Well, my own honest takeaway is this. Well, the president used the State of the Nation exactly as it was designed to be, to project strength, direction, authority, and of course, when people like Donald Trump, whether they like him or not, this was not a timid speech. It was a declaration of his intent, and he did not bother to try to reach those who hate him. He was reaching more for his base. So as a conservative, leaning independent voter myself, I saw three things clearly tonight. First is a man who is governing, who believes in the country, that his country is at the crossroads. That secondly is unapologetic about prioritizing the sovereignty of America, America first, border control, and economic nationalism. And third, is not trying to win over his critics. is speaking directly to his base, because this is an election year, and to persuade and trying to maybe persuade a few independents who are still looking at this way. So now we can debate the tone. You can debate some of the claims, but what you cannot debate is this. The speech projected command. He said, this is the America I believe in, and I'm running it the way I want. I'm not asking your permission to say it. That, to me, that clarity is exactly why his supporters remain loyal and his opponents remain very, very...
Dr. Banwo, let me stay with you.
There are 19% of independent voters who have gone away from Donald Trump.
Somto, just hold on. I will let you respond. I'll let you respond in just a moment, because I know that you have a very different view. But in terms of the approval ratings, you were just talking about, and I want to stay with Dr. Banwo on this. His approval ratings are at a near record low, just about now 39%, dropping from over 40%. Will offering a long list of his accomplishments counter those ratings?
Well, you have to understand the mainstream media, which obviously my sister, from what I can see, loves. They like to underrate Trump.
You're watching right-wing media.
Hold on. Somto, just hold on.
Facts with them.
Somto, just hold on. Let him make his points. Dr. Banwo, please go ahead.
We're not quarreling. We're not.
Okay, so please do not interrupt me, because I could be nasty too. So what I'm trying
go
to
ahead,
say
please.
I'm not nasty. Okay. I'm not nasty.
Okay, all right. I'm even losing my train of thought here. See, listen.
I was talking about the approval ratings, and if his speech will help, show that up.
The mainstream media have always underrated Trump. I'm not very worried about that. Okay, they underrated him his first time, he won. They underrated him second time, he lost. Yeah. This third time, they underrated him and he won by landslide. So yes, obviously, even me, I'm not very happy with many of Trump's policies right now. But I won't put stock on the ratings of the mainstream media that he loves to rock all the time. They love to drag him, but he's still their daddy. That's what I see.
All right, Somto, I'll come to you now, because he made a point that I found very interesting, right? Which perhaps would be the takeaway for a lot of conservatives, that he wasn't trying to reach those who do not like him. He wasn't trying to reach critics.
I do not care. He wasn't trying to
hold
reach
on, Somto. He was trying to reach his base, but just in
not
that
exactly.
term.
Not exactly. He was trying to reach the independents, of which the polls, which Mr. Ope brought up about, show that 19% of independent voters are running from Donald Trump and the GOP. You can call it nasty, that's your problem. You're telling me mainstream media. You listen to news that tell you that vaccines are bad. You're a doctor and you listen to the right-wing media. You don't get to come on national TV and call me nasty for lying. But Nigerian people, the independents in America are running away from Donald Trump. Only 19% of independents are supporting Donald Trump. Donald Trump has the lowest of any American president, lowest approval rating. No one likes what he's doing. Absolutely no one. There is no spending ability. People are hungry. He took away SNAP benefits. I had to rally around all the Nigerian major food distributors in America to prevent hunger from our Nigerian people. So, Dr. Okpa, you do not get to come on TV and rally the Nigerian people and lie to them. Donald Trump is strong-mindism. Yes, go ahead. He wasn't appealing to me. He most definitely was not appealing to me. But guess what's happening? People are coming out to vote in the Democratic Party. Nobody wants to listen to the lies and the vitriol. It was pornographic vitriol.
But hold on.
All I heard was nonsense.
Hold on, sometimes. Okay, you really have to. Let's calm down and look at the issues. All right, let's calm down and look at the issues specifically. Again, he was speaking to. I'm staying with you. You're talking about people voting Democrats, but even how just the Democrats have handled the State of the Union address, what we've seen, it used to be really very staid, but now it's moved to being really disorderly in the past 16 years. We've seen outbursts and protests like we saw again yesterday. Al Green held a card.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Do you remember Barack Obama?
Absolutely.
Do you remember Barack Obama?
That's why I said
Republican who started that.
That's why I said in the last 16 years. But has that strategy proven to be effective, even for the Democrats now who are struggling to have control of any arm of government?
Reverend, I want to prefix this by saying I do know Mr. Green. I worked with him. I am in the state of Texas. I do know him personally. I have to work with him because a lot of Nigerians are in his district. That being said, this is a political year. This is a midterm year. Mr. Green is going to do what Mr. Green has to do. Are you all forgetting that it was Mr. Green's bill that impeached Donald Trump the first year? So no, I'm not surprised that Mr. Green protested. That is exactly what he has done since before the dawn of time. That is exactly what Mr. Green has done to make way for Mr. Ope to be in America. Mr. Green is of the civil rights age, the age of Sheila Jackson Lee, the age of rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. So no, I'm not surprised he protested. Now, to discuss the protest, did you forget that it was a Republican that started it? Barack Obama was giving a speech. A Republican, white Florida elected official was yelling at Barack, telling him he's a liar, he's this and everything but a child of God. It was the Republicans who started the disrespect of the august occasion. This is an august occasion. No, I might not like Donald Trump, I might not like anything, but no, the Democrats have to do what they need to do. The same way the Republicans.
So I'm going to put both of you on hold. Hopefully, we'll take a break, and hopefully that break will allow us to calm down. Hold on, you will respond. You're going to respond, Dr. Bear. Dr. Bear, you will respond. Hold on, Dr. Bear. I have to go on break. I have to go on break. When we return, you would speak to what she has said. All right, let's take a break, everyone. We'll return. Dr. Bear will have the opportunity to respond to what Somto has said. Stay with us, everyone. All right, welcome back, everyone. Before we continue, let's bring you updates from the presidential villa, where the newly appointed Acting Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, has arrived at the villa ahead of his decoration by the president with his new rank. President Tinubu yesterday approved the appointment of Assistant Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, to serve as acting IGP with immediate effect. President Tinubu says he's confident that AIG Disu's experience, operational depth, and demonstrated leadership capacity will provide steady and focused direction for the Nigeria police force. That's the much we know now, but we will bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. All right, we're back to a conversation on the State of the Union address by President Trump. We've been speaking with Somto Ejiofor, who is a political affairs analyst, and then lawyer Dr. Banwo, both of them joining us from the US, and both of them Nigerian Americans, by the way. Dr. Banwo, you were going to respond to Somto before I ask you my next question. Please go ahead.
My response is to say this. I'm very happy to debate policies and constitutional issues, but I won't participate in name calling or abuse. That may be entertaining, but it's not analysis. I'm a lawyer. I analyze power structures and outcomes and speeches. If you want to react emotionally, that's your choice. Viewers can decide which approach they trust. I mean, I'll debate policy and constitutional power all day, but I won't do insults. I won't do personality. I'm a lawyer. I deal in this thing. And of course, I respect the venue we are in so much. I'm not going to get into that arena with you. Not out of timidity. You don't know me at all. I don't know you. But we need to keep this thing civil. I don't like the way you kept pointing to me and keep saying, people like Okwe, you don't know me. So let's stop that and let's focus on the issues we are here. But if you continue, it will get very ugly. And I'm letting the
all right, so it won't get ugly. I won't let both of you get to that point. You're both Nigerians, so we'll just keep it, civil.
Yes, we're fighting for Nigerians. That's
absolutely. So let me stay with you, Dr. Okpe. Somto was saying earlier before you joined that her ability now to, her spending power has greatly depreciated. She's not even been able to travel as she was, in the last administration. And voters have been, talking about the prices and cost of living as their top concerns. But President Trump boasted that, the nation is back and that it had achieved a turnaround for the ages. And his administration is now being compared to that of Gerald Ford in 1975, where things are also critical for Americans. And Gerald Ford at his State of Union address said the State of the Union is not good. So I'm wondering if President Trump's speech yesterday about the economy matched the reality on ground.
Well, anybody who is saying that they are worse off or whatever can speak for themselves. There are those who are prospering in this economy. There are those who are doing okay. Of course, I'm not going to say there are no challenges, but again, we are looking at a nation that is practically divided into two parts. So depending on who you are listening to, those who are who hate Trump or who hate what the Republicans are doing will say the nation is going backwards. Those who like some of what Donald Trump is doing, especially, I'm an immigration lawyer, but I don't have a problem with his immigration policies. We can debate that all day long. Okay, because the man is enforcing the law, many of which were passed by Obama. I can give you the names of the laws and the years. Okay, so you can debate his tone, he's aggressive, he's rude. In fact, I might even go so far as to say, I don't want to use a bad word against my president online. I disagree with his personality. I disagree with his rudeness. But do I disagree with his policies? No, I'm with his policy 80% of the time.
And even with the enforcement, how that policy is enforced, 2 Americans have died in the process of that immigration policy being enforced. You also agree with that?
Exactly.
Okay, I agree. 2 Americans have died, but how many died during the Black Lives Matter? You're talking about that? How many Americans died? How many policemen died? I'm not one death is one too many. But let's not start getting on any high horse because 2 Americans died while they were enforcing the law. During the Black Lives Matter, dozens of police officers were killed. Is anybody talking about that? Do you want names and figures? So again, I am not endorsing the excessive enforcement of Donald Trump. That is obviously bad. Like that woman they shot that was trying to drive away from them, that's unforgivable. I get that. But if you are talking 2 in terms of a nation of 250 million people, the other side will try to make it sound like Trump is killing everybody, including Americans on the streets of America.
All right.
But I live here too, and I go to court every day.
I want to bring in Somto to react to what you have said.
Precious, I have to respond to this. There is no verifiable excuse or verifiable number of any police officers that died during BLM. Police officers died during the January 6th protest or January 6th invasion by the Trump voters. There is no number. The FBI has released statistics. I do not understand where Mr. Banwo got his numbers from. Precious, there is nothing of such. Now, to discuss the economy, the spending power of the average American has dropped. Mr. Trump talked about his promises that he got $10 trillion. Donald Trump said $18 trillion last night. The White House website itself, I am literally reading from the White House website right now. It has only $10 trillion of pledges, Precious. Pledges, not actual money or investments. Pledges. Those are promises, nothing valuable, nothing tangible. Now, to be fair, I will give Donald Trump credit where credit is due. The Dow went up 50,000 points. He's absolutely correct on that. Dr. Okpa is correct on that. The Dow went up 50,000 points last year. But to be honest, only 10% of the American population owns stocks. The rest live in abject poverty. This is not an emotional conversation. This is a statement of fact. Only 10%, Precious, and that 10% includes Dr. Ope and I. Because why? When Nigerians were overeducated, I'm going to say we're all middle class. I'm going to leave us at that. We're middle class. So we are going to have some stake in the stock market. But the rest of America does not. Yes, Donald Trump got the Dow to be 50,000%. I am absolutely impressed by that. That was wonderful. But the economy itself is still bad. The cereal companies are increasing the amount of cereal per box. How are the kids going to feed? Precious, there are a lot of Nigerians out of work. They are literally feeding their children cereal, cornflakes. Our people don't have money to buy food anymore, Precious. I am the one dealing with that. That's literally what I do every day. I went to, yesterday, on Sunday, I spent Sunday going to 4 different churches to provide food from Nigerian farmers here in the state of Texas, Precious. Our people do not have food to eat. But Mr. Ope is coming on national TV talking about how the economy is so great. It's not so great from the work I'm doing. It's not so great. I see people at their lowest. Grown men who cannot get jobs anymore. There has been a record amount of Nigerian layoffs. A record amount, Precious. So no, the economy is not so great for the rest of the society right now.
So I have about 2 minutes more. Yeah, you will speak, Dr. Banwo. Dr. Banwo, hold on. I want you to add this question to it. Hold on. Just add this question to what you want to say. because people have also talked about the targeted removal of people from the U.S., especially that has to do more with color than it has to do with criminal records.
All right, here is what, again, I talk facts, I don't talk emotionally. Going back to say there's no fact, Madam,
there was nothing. There is zero.
Hold on, Somto. Let him make his point, please. As a wrap,
he cannot lie on TV. He cannot
just hold on, Somto. I mean, it depends on. He's not lying.
I didn't interrupt you. Can you
let him make his point. Is his point.
I'm going to give you names. I'm going to give you names that anybody listening can check. Captain David Dunn was killed in St. Louis, Missouri, June 2, 2020. He was shot during the
which Dunn? The one that's in the
Somto, I have 30 seconds more.
Congress right now.
Hold on.
Dunn is literally running for Congress right now.
Somto, let him make his point. Let him make his point. I have just 20 seconds left.
He's running for Congress right now.
Somto, please, I would have to mute. Hold on, I will have to ask them to mute you so he can speak for 20 seconds. That's what I have left. Go ahead. Dr. Please go ahead.
Michael Crow, Dallas, July 7, 2016. Corporal Lon Aarons, Dallas, Texas, July 7, 2016. Killed during an ambush at the Black Lives Matter event. Officer Patrick Zamaripa, Dallas, Texas, July 7. I could go on and on. I have 15 names. Anybody could Google that. But of course, all these liberals, they are almost as if they reject facts. And that is difficult to argue with them.
All right.
All right? Now, so, I mean, for me,
my time is up.
Claim.
All right, my time is up. I have a lot of questions to ask you both, especially as it has to do with the midterms later this year, but that's where I have to leave it. Hopefully, we'll continue to, we'll always follow developments in the US and bring updates to Nigerians and the rest of the world. Thank you so much, political affairs analyst Somto Chukwu Ike-Ejiofor and lawyer Dr. Banwo. Thank you both for your time and for your analysis.
Thank you.
All right, that's What Now. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website. It's www.tvcnews.tv. Thanks for watching. I am Precious Amayo.